When will I see you again?
Oh, never, never.
Never?
Well, maybe someday.
When? Tomorrow?
Oh, no.
I'll let y'all know that I'm really proud of my flat chest, my body, and my flat ass. It's okay to be flat. God gave me this body that's meant for me. It's supposed to go with me, okay?
You didn't get a hobby, you didn't get an interest, you didn't start talking about anything else, you got a boob job. Now you're the boob job girl.
So I've just seen that Clara Dao literally just got her boobs done, and obviously you might be wondering why I actually care, but it's because she literally built her entire brand on body positivity and you loving it and accepting yourself the way you are.
I am fucking crazy.
A large percentage of body positivity influencers are part of the body positivity movement because they don't like their bodies. They don't like the circumstances they are in. And therefore, they have to find a way to convince themselves that their bodies and the circumstances they are in are actually likable and good because there's nothing else they can do about it.
Is this personal growth or just a rebrand? Or is Clara just another influencer who got caught being everything she told us not to be?
So, I'm scrolling one night and I stumble on Clara Dao's video. You know the one. 2 months in the relationship versus 2 months out of a relationship. At first, it's classic Clara, the version that everyone has been used to for years. Slim, flat-chested, the same girl who built her whole brand around being comfortable in that body.
Woo! That'll do it! You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
Then, in the second clip, she looks completely different. She has bigger boobs, she looks fuller, she looks curvier, like she had gone under the knife. Obviously, she had gone under the knife. And right away, the comments were on fire. The vibe in the comment section was pure chaos. Some people felt outright betrayed. One person said, I used to be super insecure, but after finding you, I got better, but now it's even worse. Like, they were not joking, they really meant it. Another comment went deeper because the person said that it reminded her of the old videos when Clara would say that being flat wasn't a flaw and that being skinny and flat was perfectly okay. The person basically said, so all that positivity was fake then? That one racked up 100 likes or hundreds of likes, which means that a lot of people were feeling the same way. Then you had people pointing out her contradictions. Somebody even went back to her early content and pulled out receipts. The person said she had once answered a Q&A where she was asked, would you ever get surgery or implant? And her response back then was a hard no, that she loved her body and wanted her followers to love theirs too. That viewer said that they felt like they didn't even recognize Clara anymore, that they grew up with her content, they trusted her, and now it just felt like it was all a lie. That's how personal it was to some people. And of course, the blunt crowd came in swinging. There were comments like, she looked way better before, or ain't no way you preached body positivity just to go get surgery. These comments, they were literally everywhere. One person even joked that the video should have been called 2 months before surgery versus 2 months after. Then you had the really harsh ones saying, LOL, her content is just her breakup and fake glow up now. And that one had like over 8,000 likes. But it wasn't all negative. A lot of people had her back too. I wouldn't say the people that had her back were as much as the people who didn't. But one person compared her situation to mental health, saying, how can you uplift others while secretly you're struggling yourself? Their point was that Clara never signed up a lifetime contract to stay flat-chested just because she once told people to embrace it. Another older woman left a touching comment telling Clara, Clara not to waste her years mourning a breakup that she herself had wasted 10 years that way, and she also regretted it. And there were plenty of people just sending love, saying that Clara looked happy, looked glowing, and was radiant. And that split right there, half the audience saw it as hypocrisy, like Clara had betrayed them after years of telling them to be fine with their bodies. The other half saw it as growth, her body, her choice, and they respected it. And that's what makes the situation so complicated. Clara wasn't just another influencer to a lot of people. She was the reason that they felt better about themselves in the first place. So when she changed the very thing that she told them to accept, it felt like she had abandoned them. And here is the thing, she's human. People change. She even admitted that she felt trapped, being seen as nothing more than the flat-chested girl. That became her label, and she said it got exhausting.
When you say that like you miss that old version of me, I could understand that, but you don't know that that version of me is not as confident, is not as self-respecting, is not as happy as I am now. And I like who I am now. I like who I have become.
The internet does not let you outgrow, is what I've noticed, the version of yourself that people fell in love with. The same fans who used to cheer her on are now saying that she sold out or she lied to them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to defend Clara, and I'm not also here to chastise her. I'm in the middle ground, okay? And that's why this comments, or the comments, just tell a bigger story. This isn't just about a boob job, it's about what happens when someone becomes a symbol and then that symbol decides to evolve. Some people take it personally, some people are supportive, and some are just here for the jokes. Clara is caught in the middle of all this, and that's what makes the whole situation feel very messy and real. Also, credit when it's due, this video idea was actually inspired by my girl Kelly Scholars. So hey girl, I love you. Okay, that being said, let me introduce myself. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. On this channel I speak about whatever I want to speak about, whether trendy or not. I give deep dives, documentary, literally I speak about whatever piques my interest. So if you want to see me next time on your screen, kindly like, share, subscribe if you care. And that being said, before I move on, in my description box I have like a link of supports that you guys can do, especially when it comes to what's happening in South Sudan, the Republic of Congo, and the Middle East. So if you are tired of what's going on in the world, please click the link in my description box. It has been there since last year. Please click the link in my description box and show your support anyhow you can. You can share it, you can donate, because honestly this world is going crazy. But that being said, let's get straight into this video. Who is Clara Dao? Clara Dao is one of those names that people instantly link to body positivity, at least from my research, especially around being flat-chested. Oh my god, I underestimated how many flat-chested content this girl made. When I was checking her Instagram, I was like, girl, she literally made it her entire personality. But before she ever became the face of that message online, her story started way earlier. She was born in 1998 in Hanoi, Vietnam, and growing up there wasn't easy. Although I heard that her father, she comes from a very rich family.
Everyone, I'm in Vietnam right now. I'm actually standing in front of my parents' home in Vietnam, and I can't wait to bring you on a little tour. It's also Lunar New Year right now in Vietnam. It's actually the first day of Lunar New Year, so we are right in the atmosphere of Tết. So I am wearing a traditional áo dài that we like to wear during Lunar New Year, and we also like the color red a lot in New Year because red is in Vietnamese it means đỏ, it means lucky. So that's why we really like wearing red, especially on the first day of Lunar New Year. So before we go inside, let me walk you through what the house looks like from the outside. So this is the gate to the house. I absolutely love these gates. And then this is what the house looks like from the outside. Welcome to my Vietnam house. Or actually, my parents' house. Let's go. So this is the front yard. It is very, 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 very spacious. I love playing badminton here with my brother whenever I'm here. This is the first wing of the house. This is a traditional wing. If you look to the left, I have the second wing, which is where all the family lives. I have no idea what this architecture is called. Neo-modernism? I don't know. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
But let's start with the first wing, which is this is the traditional house. Ta-da! This is called Dao, cây Dao. It's a very traditional plant to have. Here we have like a little traditional image of Vietnam rural area of a buffalo and a little boy. And if we walk onto the stairs, these stairs are all made of stone. My parents also have this bonsai tree. And if you come closer, you will see all these little detail, like the little fisherman and like these little guy, random temple. Let's keep walking.
But anyways, like a lot of young girls, she got teased about her body, and for her, the main target was her chest. Kids would laugh, they would call her boyish, and those little digs, they stuck with her more than anyone ever realized. I'm not gonna lie, she was not conventionally beautiful. I hate to say this. And she herself, she's had a video of when she was like younger, she had like crooked teeth, she had like, honestly, I don't want to come for, normally I don't come for people's looks, I am not coming for her look, but from what I've seen, she had crooked teeth, she had to get like a jaw surgery just to fix her teeth. So apart from her being flat-chested, I like to imagine that her teeth and her face was also an insecurity of her.
Rất là xấu. Răng mình rất xấu như xưa. Không biết sao bên răng bên này mình xấu hết chứ. Là rất là cả ớn đi răng này. Là như kiểu là ấy của tạo hóa, gọi là sai lầm của tạo hóa chăng. Rồi đấy, nhìn thấy chưa? Đây là bề mặt da thực sự của ôi ơi.
So yeah, that was me when I was 17. I was indeed very insecure. I hated how I looked. I constantly compared myself to other girls, and I was just not like happy with myself at all. And fast forward to now, I'm 21. It's been 4 years. It's been a while. I've done quite a few things to my appearance to help me become more confident, to help me love myself and my appearance more. Now when I look in the mirror, I am just completely in love with how I look. I don't want to change any part of myself, of my face, of my body to look like anybody else. And in this video, I will go over the 5 main things that I did to change my appearance. Those are 1. Getting braces, 2. Going through a double jaw surgery, 3. Getting my eyebrows microbladed, 4. Getting rid of my acne, and 5. Stop doing stupid things to my hair. So I will talk about them in depth in this video. So if you're interested, make sure to click subscribe, like this video, and keep on watching.
When she was about 17, her family moved to Canada so that she could finish school. And that was when things really shifted. She went to Columbia International College in Ontario, and moving to a new country didn't make her insecurities magically disappear. If anything, it doubled down. In Vietnam, the beauty trend or the beauty ideal was curvier and more feminine, which she did not fit in. In Canada, the culture was different, but the message was the same. You weren't considered woman enough unless you had curves. Clara was caught in between two worlds that kept telling her what she wasn't. That's the part that people don't always see. Being in that middle ground, judged in both places, just gave her a perspective that not many people had. And instead of letting it break her, she flipped it. All those years of bullying and comments became fuel for her. She started putting herself out there online, not pretending to have it all figured out, but openly talking about her insecurities. She wasn't trying to be a polished role model back then. She was just trying to say the things that she wished someone had told her. Researching about Clara and watching her older videos, I don't think she expected to like blow up. Yeah, I don't think she expected to blow up. She just wanted to just talk about things that she wished that people had told her. That is like having a small chest doesn't make you less of a woman. That your worth isn't tied to your curves. And people connected to that right away. What she was saying was simple but powerful. You deserve love and you deserve to feel confident in your body no matter what it looks like. She said it enough times that people started to believe her. Not just about her, but about themselves too. And honestly, that's how our platform grew. It wasn't just videos, it was a safe space. It was a place where girls and women who had always been told that their bodies were wrong, in quotes, could finally hear someone say that they were fine the way they were. Clara made being flat-chested something that you could not only accept but even celebrated. Like literally, like I said, it was part of her identity. And for a lot of her followers, she was the first person to say out loud what they had always needed to hear. You don't have to look like the so-called trend or the so-called ideal or preferred body type to matter. So when you look at her journey, it really traces back to those early years in Hanoi. She was the kid who got teased for being flat-chested, who carried those scars into her teenage years and then had to navigate a whole new country where the pressure did not let up. That mix of experiences is literally what shaped her. It gave her the drive to turn years of criticisms into a message of self-acceptance, and that's what made her voice so different from everyone else's.
So my boobs haven't grown in size since I was 10, and I remember that's also exactly the time when I first felt insecure about my breasts. When I saw all my girlfriends starting to have boobs, I started to wonder what was wrong with my body. Why didn't my boobs grow at all? And did I do anything wrong that affect the growth of my breast? And that insecurity lasted for almost 10 years, since I was 10 till right before I turned 20. To deal with my small boobs, I used to wear push-up bra like this or like this. The padding is really thick and it gives the illusion that I have some boobs. So I wore them for, I think, 7-8 years or so, always, every time before I went out. And I also wear a lot of baggy clothes to cover my chest area completely because I didn't want to draw any attention to this area of my body. I never thought that I would be able to wear something like this or a low cut a V-neck shirt because I was just too insecure about how flat my chest looked. In addition, I also thought that guys only like girls with bigger boobs. I thought that having boobs make you look like a woman, and if I didn't have any, then I would just look like a boy. So I remember there's so many times that I Google, do guys like girls with small boobs? Do guys find small breasts attractive? Do guys like flat-chested girls? Do guys think flat-chested girls are beautiful? I know it's super silly, but at the time I was just so self-conscious about what people, especially guys, would think about me and my boob size.
So that being said, you guys, it is raining. Oh my god, it's raining. So if it gets darker, I use natural light to record, so excuse me please. So that being said, let's speak about her social media launch and rise. Clara's big break really came in 2020 when she decided to give TikTok a try. She was only 20 at the time, she was still young, she was still figuring out who she was, and she didn't jump in with some polished brand strategy. She literally just turned on the camera and showed up as herself. She was skinny, flat-chested, and unapologetically honest about it. She talked about self-love, about not needing curves to feel confident, and she used her own body as living proof. That was different from what most people were seeing online. TikTok was full of girls with hourglass figures, heavy filters, perfect lighting, and Clara basically said, nope, this is me. I have no filters, no smoke and mirrors. Take me as I am or leave me alone. And the internet, they ate it up. She blew up so fast, it almost felt very instant. When I was looking at her videos, she went from, as at when I was researching her, she went from 78k views to 2.6 million views real quick. Like her last video was 78k views, then the next one was 2.6 million views real quick. By her mid-20s, she had millions of people following along. Over 3 million people were following her on TikTok, and more than 4 million people are currently subscribed to her YouTube channel. She was very consistent, she was posting constantly, and by 26 she had nearly 1,000 videos up, all circling back to that same core message: self-love, body acceptance, and confidence in your own skin. What kept people coming back wasn't just her numbers, it was the way that she resonated with girls who looked like her. Flat-chested women, skinny women, basically anyone who felt invisible in the body positivity movement finally had someone representing them.
In this video, I'm gonna show you how to style your small boobs and make your itty bitties look insanely sexy.
I'm not gonna lie, me, I have big boobs. I don't like it. I literally do not like it. I wish I was born with no boobs. It just made me see the world in a very different way, that what we want is what another person does not want. Does that make sense? Like, if you know me, my boobs is my problem. I really don't like it. I was like, I wish I was born with no boobs, or maybe I started wearing binders since I was a child, literally. So when it comes to Clara and the fact that she has a flat chest, she didn't just talk about it, she lived it. She wore outfits that people said weren't made for flat girls. She made jokes about her chest before anyone else could. She showed that you could be stylish, you could be funny and attractive without fitting that one narrow version of femininity that just kept being pushed. And her audience, they loved her for it. The comments under her videos were filled with women saying that she helped them stop hating their bodies, that they finally felt seen because of her. Like the comments on her small boob confidence video when she uploaded, like I think 6 years ago, it was really filled with so much love. People were saying that they were crying while watching the video. Like, so many people cried that YouTube had to make it a topic in the comment section. Clara never came across as this distant influencer on a pedestal. She felt like one of them, at least from my research and what I could gauge from, her energy. She even admitted in later videos that she basically grew up on the internet since she started posting at 20, and her entire journey into adulthood unfolded with millions of people just watching her. For a while, she was the name tied to flat-chested confidence online. If you thought of body positivity on TikTok, Clara's face was one of the first to come to mind. So now let's speak about her advocacy for body positivity. What really made people stick to Clara wasn't the numbers or even the fact that she posted non-stop. It was the message that she kept hammering home: body acceptance. She wasn't just tossing out motivational one-liners either. On Instagram, her captions would be long, thoughtful, almost like diary entries that she was sharing with the world. One of them read, "Have you ever taken time to truly see every part of yourself? Celebrate your body for all its incredible abilities and the journey it's taken you on." That was her tone. It was, gentle but sure of herself, almost like she was writing to the younger version of herself who used to cry in the mirror. In her videos, she made it clear that body positivity wasn't only about weight, it was about scars, it was about stretch marks, about skin texture, all the so-called imperfections that we are taught to cover up. In her videos, she made sure that that was what body positivity was all about.
Stand in the mirror naked for 5 minutes, put a timer on, and just look at yourself. Day one, I was literally shaking because I was like, it was already tough for me to love my body, staring at that, and all that trauma that comes with it. And I was just looking at the clock, like, please be done. But day 3, when I did it, I was like, you know what? Her thighs are cute. I started complimenting her, and I was like, oh, I see my brain changing already.
And because her own lived experience was skinny shaming, she became the voice for women who were told that they were too flat or that they were too small. So when Clara said those words, they kind of hit different because this is someone from a different perspective, like wanting her boobs, and This is me not wanting my boobs. She wasn't speaking as an outsider looking in. She had been through it herself. Her message also carried a feminist undertone. She might not have labeled herself as a loud activist, but she kept pointing back to the same truth. And what was that truth? Rejecting these impossible beauty standards was its own form of empowerment. She was saying, in her own way, that choosing to be comfortable in your body is resistance against the systems that profit from your insecurity. Even academics, they picked up on that, writing about her as a feminist figure online. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Her whole platform was built on reminding women that they didn't have to reshape themselves just to be considered worthy. That impact went beyond her TikTok feed too. She started getting noticed by traditional media. The South China Morning Post highlighted her as a leading voice in body positivity and feminism. Vietnamese Women magazine began featuring her, showing how she was representing both sides of her identity at once. On one hand, she was speaking to a global audience in English. On the other, she was inspiring young women back in Vietnam who recognized the same struggles in themselves. And the one thing that Clara never let people forget was her why. She said over and over that she made content for her 16-year-old self and for every girl who grew up feeling like she did, that is, any girl who grew up feeling left out, insecure, or invisible. That was always her story on repeat. It was not a brand strategy, it was not a passing trend, but her own pain flipped into power. And that's why she stood out. That's why people believed her, especially young Asian women who saw pieces of themselves reflected in her journey and finally had someone saying the words that they had been waiting to hear. That being said, let's speak about her community building and merchandise. Clara wasn't just putting out TikTok videos, she was building an entire ecosystem around herself. So once her videos started going viral, she realized that people didn't just want quick videos or quick clips. They wanted something deeper, a sense of belonging. So she gave it to them. Her link tree was like the headquarters of her brand. She had Patreon for the BTS content, affiliate links to her favorite outfits and Amazon finds, and even a mailing list where you could sign up to get daily affirmations in your inbox. That little detail said a lot about how intentional she was. It wasn't just about growing her page, it was about making her audience feel supported every single day, like a reminder waiting for them whenever they open their emails. So she also built community spaces. She had a Discord server, a private Facebook, or she has a Discord server, a private Facebook group, places where her followers could actually connect with her and with each other. For someone who had grown up feeling invisible and mocked, joining one of those spaces must have felt like a lifeline. Suddenly, you weren't just a fan watching videos, you were in a room full of people who looked like you, who had the same insecurities, all bonding because Clara created the space for that. That's why her following wasn't just big, it was deeply engaged. Like, I feel like she built a community. Then came her merch. By mid-2024, she launched her brand called It's Confidence Baby, and the name said it all. The store sold hoodies, tote bags, mugs, socks, phone cases, all stamped with slogans that her fans already connected with. Things like love yourself, I am a 10 out of 10, and the sharper one like be kind or just shut the fuck up. For her audience, these weren't just products, they were like wearable affirmations. The way she ran her brand felt like a mix of influencer hustle and activist mission. She was open about the fact that body positive content allowed her to have everything that I have ever wanted, in her words. And she didn't frame that as a bad thing. To her, monetization and empowerment weren't opposite. They fed into each other. The bigger her platform grew, the more women she reached. And the more she succeeded, the more it proved her point that confidence could open doors. So Clara's brand wasn't just her face on TikTok. It was a community, a lifestyle, a set of rituals. It was affirmations in your inbox, conversations in group chat, slogans on your hoodie. body. For her fans, she wasn't just an influencer that they liked. She became part of their daily lives and part of how they saw themselves. I'm not gonna lie, researching about Clara had me really stunned about the amount of supporters that she had. I'd never seen her a day in my life until this year. So literally, the amount of fans that she had, I was really surprised. So I can get why people were just very disappointed in her. That being said, let's speak about her skinny, flat chest empowerment. Because at the heart of everything that Clara built was the one very specific message, and that message was being flat chested and skinny wasn't something to hide, it was something to own. I've literally spoken about it like all over this video. So, like I said, that became her niche. A lot of body positivity movement had already leaned heavily towards plus size representation, which honestly it matters, but it often leaves out girls on the other end of the spectrum. Clara carved out that space and planted her flag. Like scrolling through her Instagram, that was literally her brand. As late as 39 weeks ago, there were comments like, "We get it, you have small boobs." People making snark comments because it felt like all they heard from her was the fact that she has tiny boobs. She said openly that not having curves wasn't a flaw, it was just another way of existing. She repeated this so often that it became her signature. In video after video, no matter the format, whether she was lip syncing to a trending sound, showing her outfits, or just talking straight to the camera, she slid that message in. Sometimes she would tell personal stories. She would say something like, "I've had the flat chested body for the longest time. I love it. I love my flat chest. I want every flat chested girl to feel the same way." She once even laughed and claimed that she was probably the girl who loved her flat chest the most in the entire world.
And for me, I had the flat chested body for the longest time. Like, I love it. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. I love my chest. I love my flat chest. I think I'm the girl that loved her flat chest like the most in the entire world. Try to find flat chested girl that loved her flat chest more than me, like, and make 900 videos about it. And I made it because I loved it. I made it because I'm so confident and proud of my flat chest, and I want every flat chested girl to feel the same way about their flat chest. That's how convicted, that's how like committed I was to my flat chest.
The confidence, or that confidence, just became her online identity. She wasn't wearing padded bras. Oh wait, I lied. In one of her videos, she showed how she wore push-up bras to show the illusion that she had boobs. But I don't know what's the difference between push-up bras and padded. I think I know the difference. What am I saying? I'm a woman, but the last time I ever wore a bra was 2019. I do not wear bras. I do not care. Gravity is against me, but I do not care, okay? So the last time I wore a bra was 2019. But anyways, she wasn't hiding under layers. She wasn't waiting until she fixed herself. She put it front and center and turned it into pride. But she did not limit her content to chest size. She stretched the conversations to bigger ideas or bigger topics of confidence and self-worth. She repeated affirmations like, "I am confident, I am enough." Short lines, yeah, but powerful ones for people who had been battling with body image issues for years. And when the hate came, because it always did, she did not run from it. Like, people left comments calling her the A word, like anorexic, if you know what I'm saying, because YouTube doesn't like that word, saying that she looked like a man. But instead of ignoring it, she flipped it. She would use those comments to highlight how twisted society's expectations of women's bodies were. That became her pattern. Share the insecurity, acknowledge the insults, then spin it into empowerment. It was part confession, part pep talk, and you know what? It worked. People, especially her fans, they loved how honest she was. They loved watching her take the same things that had hurt them and turn them into a rallying cry. Her message spread visually too. She wore crop tops, halter necks, low-cut dresses, the clothes that people said would only work if you had curves, and she made them look effortless. Her hashtags like flat-chested kept stamping the message across her feed. It was a constant loop. Show the body people more, pair it with confidence, make it aspirational. That was the recipe. For years, Clara wasn't just in the body positivity movement. She was the face of a corner of it that had never really been claimed before. If you were a skinny, flat-chested girl scrolling late at night wondering if you were ever going to feel good in your body, Clara Dao was the loudest, proudest voice saying you do not need to change. So that being said, let's speak about her personal life and relationship. I was contemplating if I should put this in because I do not think it's necessary, but to an extent it may be, but I would say like the percentage of it being necessary is like maybe 30% if I'm being very honest. But anyways, Clara's content was never just about her body positivity quotes and empowerment mantras. What made her so easy to connect with was the way that she let parts of her personal life slip into the public life or into the public eye. She talked openly about being bisexual and her audience appreciated that because it fits with everything else that she stood for. And what was that? Accepting yourself fully, even the parts that people tell you to hide. For a while, she even brought her relationship into the spotlight. In early 2024, she started a couples channel with her boyfriend Javi. It was a classic YouTube couples format like vlogs, travel videos, everyday life movement. But before I go on, I'm not sure she had a channel with Javi, let me be honest, because reports seem to be very conflicting on this. Some reports have stated that she had a channel with Javi, but I did not see any, while some reports said that she just created a playlist on her own channel. I don't know which one it is. I could not find the playlist on her channel, and I could not find the YouTube channel with Javi if they ever created one. Can someone let me know in the comment section? I, however, saw videos of Javi going on a date with someone that is not Clara. So I'm assuming this after the breakup because somebody else, another channel, reposted it. And one particular video, he was asking the audience if he's a red flag or not because he had a date and people were going to say that he moved on too fast.
I have a date tonight. She's Filipino. She's older than me. And I already know what my comments are going to say. They're going to be like, oh, you're such a red flag. You move on so fast. I'm like, yo, do I look like a red flag to you? Actually, do I look like a red flag? Ha ha, it is not about looks, it is about behavior and intentions. I told you guys, I'm not a red flag. Okay, anyways, wallet, because guys always pay. Watch, so I know when to leave. Glasses, so I can tell if she's a red flag. Goated female gaze perfume. Dior lip balm, I swear, this is so good. And yeah, I'm Asian, so I can't bring my shoes upstairs. Also, it's been 2 years since my last first dinner date type of thing, so I'm pretty nervous. Wish me luck. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Bye-bye.
Anyways, some people even think that their relationship was fake. I do not know. I cannot attest to that. I just guess that people who were used to seeing Clara in confident big sister mode suddenly got to see her laughing over dinner, especially when she was in a relationship, and joking around with a partner doing the mundane but sweet stuff that made her feel more real. It added another layer to her online persona. But by mid-2025, that whole chapter just came crashing down. The relationship ended and Clara suddenly had to deal with her breakup in front of millions of people. Yo, I'm sorry, like I have cat hair on my face. Okay, I've gotten it out. Anyways, she started posting videos that had a very different tone from her usual content. Even on her Instagram, she was posting on how she's moved on. Honestly, I personally believe that if people say the same thing over and over again, most times their heart says something different. She also uploaded an apology style video where she admitted that she was struggling, but she stayed vague about the details. She asked her audience to give her some grace to understand that she was still growing and figuring things out. And honestly, you could tell it went deeper than just heartbreak. She hinted at her mental health, saying that she'd been through a lot over the years and that constantly being seen as a role model wasn't as easy as it looked. For years, her followers had mainly seen the confident Clara be I am a 10 out of 10 version who radiated self-assurance. But now, cracks were showing. She was letting people see that the person carrying the weight of inspiring others also had her own weight to carry.
And I have worked on myself so much over the years. Like, you have no idea how much shit I've been through over the years. You know, I feel like a lot of people, of course, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you don't know me in real life. You don't know my history. You don't know what I've been through, you know? And of course, there is a certain persona that I portray online. And at that point, I was pure and simple. I was making like my flat chested content and being super simple with like my makeup. I don't even wear makeup in my videos, okay? I just wasn't interested in makeup or like fashion that much, to be honest with you all. And that was my version. That was the version of myself back then. And I love her. Like when I look at myself back then, I'm like, she's so gorgeous. Like I love her. But everyone changed because everyone grow. As I grow older, I just, like I said, have different interests. Now I want to talk about makeup and beauty and shift away from my body positivity. Not that I'm never gonna make body positivity content anymore, because like I said, like it's still something that I believe in. It's still something that I feel like, yeah, like I love the message. But for me, I think body positivity doesn't have to be boxed into like, oh, if you love yourself, then, you know, just be happy with yourself and don't change anything. Of course, I know that if you agree with that message, like, Fuan, you know, I totally respect that. I think there's definitely validity in that point of view. But from my point of view, I'm like, I love myself. I love myself so much. Changing myself to have fun, to have new experience.
And that's where her story gets complicated. Her whole career was built on openness, on blurring the line between personal and public, sharing her sexuality, her relationship, her inner reflections. That was what made her brand feel authentic. But when things started unraveling, that same openness became a trap. She didn't really have the option to process things privately because her audience had been trained to expect access. And even when she tried to set limits, people kept pushing. They wanted more details, more explanations, more confessions. So the thing that built her platform, her transparency, was also the thing that made it so heavy to carry. I've seen other like channels speaking about Clara. Like I've seen a channel that did like, I think over 10 videos on her, and I was like, at the end of the day, she's a human being. She's a human being. Like, to me, over 10 videos was a bit excessive, I'm not gonna lie. Or is a bit excessive. Is a bit excessive. Like, at the end of the day, she's a human being. Clara had created a world where her followers felt close to her, like they knew her. But when a personal life, or when her personal life shifted, that closeness turned into pressure. And that's the part of her story that people don't always see. Being authentic online comes with a cost, comes with a cost, because once you give people pieces of yourself, they don't always know when to stop asking for more. And that leads us to the breast augmentation controversy. March 2025 was the month that everything flipped. Clara went public with the fact that she had gotten breast augmentation surgery, and it set off the biggest storm of her career. For years, she had been the face of flat-chested empowerment, the one voice telling millions of girls that they didn't need to change. So when she suddenly appeared with implants, people didn't just react with surprise, they felt blindsided. At least the word that kept popping up everywhere was, oh my god, you betrayed us. Headlines that did not sugarcoat it. The South China Morning Post literally used that word in their coverage. Fans, they echoed it in comment sections, saying that they felt like the girl who had told them to embrace themselves had just proved that she was never fully believed either. That she never fully believed it either. What am I saying? So basically, the split screen photos, they also did not help, because even news outlets, they put old and new pictures side by side. Clara in her signature pink top with her flat chest, then a newer post-surgery shot showing off the difference. The visual contrast just made it feel like more than surgery, almost like a full-on rebrand. To a lot of people, it looked like she had abandoned everything that she used to stand for. Clara wasn't oblivious to the backlash. She posted a long emotional response video where she tried to explain her decision. She doubled down on the fact that she still loved her flat chest, but she also wanted to try something new. Her exact framing was that it was for fun. She said that people dye their hair, people change their styles, people work out to change their bodies, and nobody questions whether that's self-hatred. Why should surgery be different? In her own words. The love for myself doesn't depend on the size of my chest, she said.
Positivity doesn't have to be boxed into like, oh, if you love yourself, then, you know, just be happy with yourself and don't change anything. Of course, I know that if you agree with that message, like, flan, you know, I totally respect that. I think there's definitely validity in that point of view. But from my point of view, I'm like, I love myself. I love myself so much. Changing myself to have fun, to have new experience, to have new version of reality. Like, I see no problem with that. And the love for myself doesn't depend on the size of my chest, okay? It doesn't depend on like the external factor, what I look like on a certain day. It's so deep that I can change myself like physically and still feel that same amount of love or even more, you know? I'm 26 now. I have different priorities. I have different interests. And, you know, I want to talk about other things. I want to have fun. I want to change my identity. I feel like I'm the type of person who loves transformation and who loves change, physical change. That's why I'm like going through multiple different hair color. It's not that like I'm like mentally unstable or anything. It's just that I'm just the type of person that enjoy shifting my avatar, shifting my appearance for the fun of it. I feel like not many people can understand and resonate or like relate to this because, yeah, you may think that, oh, having a boob job, like, it's not like changing your hair color. Like, you're basically changing your whole body, like, permanently. And I get that. I totally get that. Like, we have like, everyone has different, you know, level of acceptance and level of like comfortability with body changes. And I think my comfortability is like pretty high.
In my own opinion, she was trying to prove that body positivity and body changes could exist side by side. Honestly, you do not decide to put your life on the line. All the pain that comes with boob surgery just for fun. Boob surgery is one of the most painful cosmetic surgery in the world. Like, you do not decide to put your life on the line for some implants.
If you truly love your flat chest the way it was, why did you feel the need to change them? Very valid question. I think I see this argument a lot in my comments, and my answer to that is I feel like I'm a broken record whenever like I talk about this topic, but honestly, I just want to change for fun, guys. I don't know, can you accept that answer from me? Can you accept it, guys? And the thing is, like, when I say that and people are like, you're gaslighting and manipulating followers. Like, nobody do the surgery for fun. Surgeries have so many risks and painful. Nobody go through it for fun. I know. Okay, guys, I know that's the reality for a lot of people. I know that, okay? But for me, because I already done my jaw surgery, so I felt like I could deal with the pain. I thought that compared to the jaw surgery, the boob's not gonna be anything, okay? Like I said, I was in the mindset of I'm gonna manifest it. So I would have like a really easy breezy surgery with no complication, no pain or minimal pain, okay? I look forward to the result, which is like boobs, and it's like opposite of what I had, and it's fun to me, okay? To me, it is fun to me.
Just for fun. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it was a nuanced take, and like I've said so many times, the internet does not leave room for nuance, or they rarely leave room for nuance. For many of her followers, her words were so hollow. For years, she had sworn that she would never get implants. She had reassured them that she loved herself as she was. She had made her audience feel like they could do the same. To now switch up and say, actually, I wanted to do my boobs for fun. It felt like she was backpedaling, and in that same video she admitted that she was tired of being boxed in as the flat-chested girl, which only fueled suspicion that this wasn't really about growth but about moving away from the niche that made her famous in the first place. The timing did not even make it easier because the surgery announcement came right after her public breakup, so people just tied the two together. Some people assumed that the implants were part of a glow-up, like a coping mechanism, a way to reinvent herself after heartbreak. And I personally believe this also, especially after her 2 months into a relationship and 2 months out of a relationship video. Whether that was true or not, the perception is stuck and people judged her for it. The criticism was relentless. Some flat out called her a hypocrite. Others said that she had abandoned the community that trusted her, the women who had followed her for years because they finally had someone proudly telling them that their bodies were fine as they were. A harsher group said that she had sold out. Clara tried to navigate the backlash carefully. In her apology, she said that she was sorry if you take it the wrong way, if that hurt you in some way, in her words, but she also defended her right to evolve. You could see how shaken she was on camera, but she kept repeating that she was still the same person and that her essence was still about confidence and self-love. She framed it as a new chapter in her story, not the erasure of the old one. She begged people not to view the implant as a betrayal but as part of her journey, and that's where the disconnect really showed.
To make a video to apologize to all of you, I have heard it with my decision. It's a very personal decision, and I think how I approach it before, like 3 months ago when I announced my surgery, back then to me it's like nobody can get a say on what I want to do with my body, and I was very much in this energy of like, you know, egoistic self and like just look out for myself. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially when, you know, I have a lot of compassion towards myself in the past. After everything, I'm sorry, you know, this video comes super late. And right now, I'm able to develop and truly feel this compassion towards you, towards my viewers who have supported me, who have felt betrayed and who have felt disappointed with my decision. I think I'm finally able to truly feel it in my heart. That's why I want to make this video to apologize to all of you. I'm not gonna say that, you know, I regret my decision, my boob job is the wrong decision for me. No, this is not that type of video. It's not the reason why I make this video. It's just that I want to make this video to acknowledge, because I'm a public figure and I have done a very specific type of content in the past that attracted a lot of you who have seen yourself in me, who have followed my journey, who have followed and believed in what I preach, which was loving your natural body. You don't have to change anything at all. You're perfect the way you are. And trust me, please, that I still wholeheartedly believe in all of those teachings, in all of the things I said. Make videos about like the past 6 years, loving my flat chest. It was truly me. And I did not lie. I did not like build a persona or just like use my flat chest as a way to make money. Like, it's the furthest thing from the truth, because I did not need the money. Like, I did not need the social media like fame or anything. It's truly something that I deeply care about, like having a flat chest, growing up with a flat chest, growing up having a super skinny body, could not gain weight and being body shamed years after years after years by everyone around me, by my family, by my friends. That's why I made the type of content that I made. It's really from my heart. You know, when I first announced my surgery and got hit with so many criticism that, oh, I lied and I'm a hypocrite and I used all of you to gain money for the surgery, like a part of me got really defensive. And I may not have like handled everything in a mature, in a compassionate way. And I think I was just like looking out for me and just like, no, like, did not do the content for money. Like, this is, I did not lie, but like, you know, like, I really came at it and create content from that point of like, I have to protect myself, and everybody that didn't get my decision were wrong.
For her, it might have been another choice, another phase of growth, but for her followers, it felt like watching their role model just walk away from the very thing that made them feel okay in their own skin. So now let's expand more into the fan backlash and the public response, because the backlash was brutal and immediate. Almost overnight, Clara went from being celebrated as the face of flat-chested confidence to being labeled as a sellout. Like I have said so many times in this video, people who had stuck by her for years unfollowed in waves. I actually saw somewhere that she had over 500,000 people unfollow her in a day. Others stayed only to drag her in the comments, calling her a hypocrite for preaching body positivity and then getting surgery. It didn't matter which platform you checked, honestly. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, her name was constantly paired with words like betrayal, fake, liar.
So I've just seen that Clara Dao literally just got her boobs done. And obviously you might be wondering why I actually care. But it's because she literally built her entire brand on body positivity and you loving it and accepting yourself the way you are. It's quite sad because she's literally gone and done everything she advocated against. And also thinking about all the young girls who follow her. I think she's got about 2.9 million followers, something like that. And they probably might have seen her as a source of confidence, and now she's gone and done this. But obviously, it's her money, her body, her choice, and she can literally do whatever she wants. But I just think it's really sad.
There's even one of her old videos where she was flat-chested and she was praising her flat chest, and someone made a comment like, and you turn around and did something else or did the opposite. And that comment, that was like 30 something weeks ago, that comment had like 69,000 likes. That was crazy. The drama machine picked it up and ran with it. YouTube commentary videos with titles like Clara Dao, the most disgusting body positive hypocrite, and how Clara Dao lost her entire audience. They started pulling views. People were watching. Even feminist spaces that once celebrated her, they were divided. Some defended her, saying that she had the same right as anyone else to change her body. Others said that the implants undermined everything that she stood for. To them, it wasn't just a surgery, it was the dismantling of flat-chested pride, the exact niche that Clara had built her platform on. Clara did not disappear. She went back on camera and she tried to explain herself again. This video, in her apology and follow-up videos, she acknowledged the disappointment but reminded her audience that self-love doesn't mean that she stayed frozen in time. She said that she understood why people missed the old Clara but gently pushed back. People are allowed to evolve. She thanked those who stayed with her and made it clear that she hadn't abandoned her values. In this video, she released it like 2 to 3 days ago, and this video had like, last time I checked, it was like at 40k views, which for someone like Clara, that is a small amount of views. Body positivity, according to Clara, she said that it still mattered to her. It just didn't have to look the same forever. Some fans, they echoed that, pointing out that maybe this was a lesson in nuance. Loving yourself doesn't mean never changing. People dye their hair, people start working out, even get tattoos or cosmetic tweaks without it automatically meaning that they hate themselves. Clara's choice, the way she framed it, was about curiosity and expression, not self-loathing. For a portion of our audience, that explanation was enough. Still, you could see the toll that it took. Being torn apart online is harsh for anyone, but when your entire persona has been built around strength and confidence, the criticisms, they are going to cut deep, especially when it comes from someone that you admire. Hopefully that makes sense. Clara didn't spell everything out, but she hinted at having gone through a lot and needing people to give her grace. Her voice, her body language, there was a weariness there that hadn't been before. Even through the noise, she didn't ditch her community entirely. She kept posting affirmations and quick confidence reels, clinging to the message that built her platform. In one vlog, she summed up her stance clearly. She said, "I still believe in body positivity. I believe everyone is equally beautiful, but I want to focus on other things now too." That one line, I think that it captured where she was at that time or at this time. Her values, they had not vanished according to her, but her priorities were shifting. The whole controversy just highlighted just how fragile the bond between influencers and audiences can be. People wanted Clara to stay locked in time as a girl who once bragged that she loved her flat chest more than anything in the world. Clara was insisting that she was still that girl, just older now, with new experiences, new priorities, and a new chapter unfolding in front of millions who weren't ready to accept it. And this is the part where I have to stop and say this. Stop putting influencers on pedestal. Seriously, honestly. Clara came online years ago saying that she felt insecure about her small chest. She even admitted that she once thought about having surgery. Then she changed her mind. From there, she made her entire personality about her boobs or lack of them. And everybody just ate it up without questioning it. Think about it like this. When a couple is always online talking about how perfect their relationship is, blasting love quotes, posting cute pictures every single day, and then one day you find out that it's been toxic from the start, would you really be shocked? The signs were always there. Sometimes people overcompensate. They perform confidence, they perform perfection because it feels like the best way for them to hide what they're really struggling with. It's the same energy as people who flex money non-stop online. They'll post designer outfits, champagne, stack of cash, and behind the scenes they are broke, barely keeping it together. That's how fronts work. You push one image out to the world hoping that it will cover the truth that you don't want people to see. And that's why so many people felt blindsided by Clara's implants, because they did not realize that she might be performing confidence as a shield. But that's the lesson here. Stop worshipping influencers. Stop expecting influencers to be the blueprint for your life, because half of the time what they're showing you isn't the full truth. It's a version that they want you to believe. And honestly, this may sound harsh, but honestly, that is my take. I am not looking on to any influencer. If I'm struggling with something, I will go to my GP and I would seek like maybe counseling or something, or I would speak to people in my real life. But to look at people who do not know me and I do not know them beyond what they show me and look up to them, that's never happening. I could see you and be like, okay, I can see what you're doing, this, you're in Forbes 30/30, I'm going to strive to be there, you know. For me to be like, oh, let me look up to you and do everything that you're doing. Stop it, okay? That being said, let's talk about the impact on feminism and social media culture. Clara's surgery didn't just shake her brand, it set off bigger conversations about feminism, authenticity, and how social media piles pressure on women. On one side, people genuinely respected her decision. They said it took guts to make a personal choice in front of millions of people who were guaranteed to pick it apart. For them, that was feminism in real time. Women doing whatever they want with their bodies, whether that's staying natural or choosing to change something. Supporters pointed out that body positivity was never supposed to be a trap. It's about freedom, and freedom means being able to grow, being able to experiment, or even get cosmetic surgery if that is what feels right for you. Clara herself often used that kind of language: body autonomy, self-expression, be what you want. And for people in this camp, her implants weren't a contradiction. They were proof that feminism and body positivity don't have one rigid definition. But on the other side of the internet, it was just as loud. A lot of people felt flat out betrayed. To them, her surgery made everything that she's been preaching ring very, very hollow. They argued that body positivity is supposed to be about acceptance as you are, and once you change something fundamental, you weaken that message. Some called her a hypocrite, saying that she built a whole career of flat-chested pride and then abandoned it when it no longer served her. The conversation quickly became polarized. One camp saying that she'd watered down the meaning of body positivity.
Clara Dao originally offered herself up as a representative of the itty-bitty community. She made herself the flat-chested girl and decided to surround her content around self-love and whatever. She's saying she wants to change things up. She's done with that content. She's been making it forever and it's like draining her. She feels boxed in. But fucking now what? You didn't get a hobby. You didn't get an interest. You didn't start talking about anything else. You got a boob job. Now you're the boob job girl. And I hope that we can use Clara Dao in a broader context and kind of see how ironic it is to preach self-love and have any sort of body mod, cosmetic body modding. The truth is that she is allowed to go get a boob job. It's her body, whatever. In going to cosmetically modify your body, that means that you have to admit that that self-love that you used to preach, you don't believe it anymore. You must admit that you have changed your beliefs and you don't believe in genuine self-love anymore. And while she doesn't owe anything to her followers or community, she has to recognize that there is meaning in what she just did. And there is a broader context than just, I wanted a boob job for fun. So in saying, I love my natural body, but I did also get a boob job, a nose job, I got a BBL, whatever. We have to recognize that there's irony in that. And then in recognizing this relationship, if A equals B and B equals C, then C is plastic surgery does not equal body positivity. So just a bit of food for thought. Guys, I got boobs, so I did believe in self-love until I could afford a boob job. That's the truth. I think that instead of bashing her for the decision she's already made and clearly does not want feedback about, we should use her as a stepping stone to start talking about the role that cosmetic surgery has in the way that women view themselves and just body image in general.
And the other camp saying that her choice was exactly what body positivity should allow.
I will probably get cancelled for this take, but I wanted to speak on Clara Dao, controversy, I guess.
Have regular mealtime, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and people just eat when it's mealtime, not necessarily because they are hungry. I don't like the feeling of being stuffed. Of course there are times, I'm not gonna say that I never stuff myself, I never eat to the point that I'm so full. Of course there are times that I have, but after that, intuitively, my body just kind of know and not eat so much the day after.
This is not a typical video that I usually make, but it's all over my For You page, both in TikTok and YouTube. I just see a lot of people get really, really mad at her, mass unfollowing and stuff. I haven't been particularly following her. I just kind of saw her on my For You page several times, but I don't know, this is just not my type of content. Also, as you can see, I also belong to the flat-chested community. Small boobs were never a part of my insecurities. I was thinking about getting a boob job a couple of times, I guess, but never too seriously, I was maybe, and then no. I just like to sleep on my belly, okay? If I get to the point, I don't see an issue. Maybe I'm just fucked up, I don't know, but I don't see an issue. She's a grown-ass woman. She has been doing this type of content for years now, and we grow up, we change our minds. It's not we're the same as we were 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, or even a year ago. Things are constantly changing. Something is happening to us, some sort of circumstances that affect us. She was in body positivity, flat-chested and accepting yourself stuff for years, and then she's just fuck it, I want a boob job now. And I don't see any problem, it's her fucking life. We should not live our lives based on how would other people feel if I did this to myself. It's not she's hurting other people, but she's just changing her body the way she wants. And honestly, for me personally, maybe I'm just not that knowledgeable in this topic, but for me, it's a part of body positivity. You can do with your body whatever the fuck you want, no? Isn't this the whole point? If you're comfortable with this, accept your body as it is now. There's nothing wrong with that. I always think, do whatever the hell you want. If you want to lose weight, lose weight. If you want to gain weight, gain weight. If you want to get a nose job, a boob job, just do that if it makes you happy. I did come across a lot of body positivity content throughout the years. What I didn't really like about it is that sometimes people trick themselves into thinking that I should just accept everything the way it is and not change anything, because changing something is hard work, always. But they were miserable. They were trying so hard to accept themselves, but they were not vibing with it, you know what I mean? They could not accept it. What does that mean? Should you try harder accepting it? Or should you change something to make yourself feel better? For me personally, I choose the second. I'm not comfortable with gaining weight. That's the harsh truth. I'm not comfortable. I don't feel confident, and I don't want to accept it. That's the way that I am. Maybe I'm spreading a dangerous message here, but I feel so much happier when I'm at the weight that I want to be at, or when I look the way I want to look, I'm so much happier rather than trying so hard to accept it when I don't like how I look. She was okay with her look for years, and she was accepting. I truly believe she was accepting of herself. But then she changed her mind, and that's fine. She doesn't owe you shit, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Even if she's an influencer, she's a person, first of all. And she is fully in control of your life. If you live your life thinking, oh, what would Alice and Peter think if I do this? No, you just live for yourself. You only live once. You have one life, you should live the way you want to live it. I don't see any issue with that. Maybe I'm old enough and I have been through some shit to realize that. I'm 28, by the way. Maybe I'm deep in my ED still. Maybe I still suffer from a lot of body image issues. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know what you think.
And stuck in the middle was Clara herself, just watching her decision just get dissected as if it were some sort of manifesto that instead of a personal choice, which it's some sort of manifesto because you were literally speaking to people and telling people that you love your flat chest and they should love their flat chest too. That's the tricky thing here about social media. Authenticity is basically currency. Influencers gain trust by making people feel like they're being real. And when that image shifts even a little, it feels like the trust has cracked. For years, Clara was the girl who loved her flat chest more than anything in the world. Then one day, she wasn't. To a chunk of her audience, it didn't matter how carefully she explained her reasoning. The switch still felt like a betrayal. Others argued that the betrayal was never hers, it was in the expectations that people piled on her. Either way, the whole situation just exposed how quickly women's choices just get politicized online. No matter what you do, whether you embrace your natural body or decide to change it, people will twist it into a bigger cultural argument. And then there is the cultural layer. Clara's Vietnamese background made the story even more complicated. Cosmetic surgery is huge across Asia, but the Western version of body positivity is still fairly new. Clara had become a global role model, especially for young Asian women who related to her story for being teased for looking boyish. So when she changed her body, the reaction wasn't just disappointment, it was confusion, heartbreak, debate. Some Asian fans, they felt abandoned, while others defended her, saying that she wasn't doing anything different from countless women around them who turned to surgery. Even other Vietnamese influencers weighed in, pointing out how Clara was caught between two worlds: Western independence that celebrates personal choice and Eastern modesty norms that still carries their own pressures. So in the end, her implants weren't just about her body. They showed how global beauty, especially the narrative around global beauty, can collide online. One surgery in Canada sparked conversations stretching across continents, cultures, and movements. Clara's story basically became a case study in modern feminism, colliding with influencer culture. I'm talking about how much of your body is actually yours, where millions of people think that they get a say in it. That being said, let's talk about the legacy and the current directions. So where does Clara Dao actually go from here? As of mid-2025, she's still massive. Even after waves of unfollows and all the noise, her numbers are the kind that most creators dream of. Her YouTube sits comfortably at 4 million subscribers, and her TikTok, while it's dented, is still pulling in millions. She hasn't vanished. She hasn't been cancelled in the dramatic way that the internet loves to claim. She's still here posting. She's still telling people who stuck with her how much she values them. What shifted is her focus. After the chaos, Clara started pointing towards a new lane. Less content about being flat-chested and more lifestyle, makeup, fashion, self-improvement, and longer story time style content videos. Her makeup is literally fire, I'm not even gonna lie. Her transitions are beautiful. She even admitted that 2025 made her realize that she wanted to expand, that body positivity was still part of her identity, but she didn't want it to be the only thing that people saw. And let's not forget that your brain fully develops when you're 25, and all this started when she was 20. So maybe she's developed her brain and she's like, okay, you know what, I think I need boobs. She's been clear that she doesn't want to leave out the rest of her career boxed in as the flat-chested girl. Her breakup with Javi and the quiet end of their couple's channel just marked the close of one chapter, but in a way that pushed her back to where she started, and that is as a solo creator. And honestly, that might be where she works best. There is something fitting about her moving towards a broader lifestyle space, because for her, or because for the fans who have grown up with her, watching Clara explore new interests and step into adulthood might feel more natural than watching her repeat the same mantra forever. Meanwhile, her brand hasn't gone anywhere. Its Confidence Baby is still up and running. It's still selling hoodies, mugs, totes, and the slogans that her followers love, I guess. Her Patreon, from what I checked, is still active, and I think her daily affirmation mailing list is still landing in people's inboxes, and her Discord and Facebook groups are still alive with her most dedicated community. That consistency just keeps people loyal. She hasn't abandoned them. She's just shifting the conversation, and in a way, her message, encouraging people to do what you love or to embrace growth, echoes her old one almost word for word. It's the same theme. She's just reframed it. Now, when people talk about Clara, it's not about her as an influencer. It's about what she wrote. Her name comes up whenever people debate the risk that body positive creators face in 2025. To some people, she's a cautionary tale, a reminder that when you build your brand around one specific identity, changing that identity can feel like a betrayal to your fans. And to others, she's still inspirational because she opened up a bigger, messier conversation about what body positivity really means. The truth is, Clara hasn't gone anywhere for now. She's just writing a new chapter and everyone is waiting to see how it unfolds. Some people have been like, you know what, fuck you. Some people are like, alright with you to the end. Whether you agree with her choices or not, she's already left a mark on how we talk about feminism, body image, and influencer culture. She taught people to love themselves as they were, and now, whether she meant it or not, she's teaching them something harder, and that is how to deal with change. So guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'm not here to say that what Clara did was good. I'm not here. I understand and empathize with people who looked up to her. Let me make that clear. I empathize with the people who looked up to her, but in the same breath, stop looking up to influencers. Stop looking up to influencers. Honestly, stop looking up to influencers. I know it's not easy because we live on social media, but I have at the back of my mind that people do change. Like, I'm saying this because of a personal experience that I too had. I used to look up to an influencer like when I was in uni. She used to have, like, her name is Toke Makinwa. Every Wednesday I used to watch Toke Moments, and she used to rave about how she was in the best relationship of her life, until just for me to find out that this man cheated on her, used to treat her like trash, had a baby outside the wedding or the marriage, and she knew about all this, but she used to like literally rave about how good this man was and how this man treated her with love and respect, blah blah blah. And I know exactly how I felt, and thank God then I was just 20 or 19, sorry, I would think I was 19 or 20, and since then I made a promise to myself never to look up to anybody but to myself. And if I'm stuck, or if I'm, if I need someone to talk to or someone to validate me, I talk to my friends, or if it's too much, I talk to my GP, which is like my doctor, and if possible, I seek counseling. Literally, that is what I have decided to do. Again, I know it's not easy. I'm not gonna come out here and be like, oh my god, it's easy. I know it's not easy, but I empathize with people who looked up to her, because when I checked the comment section, I seen that people were so happy that there was someone like her in this world. But at the end of the day, she betrayed people who looked up to her. And I don't know if it would have changed anything, but if she had said it before she had gone to get the surgery, that's fine. Which is so ironic, because one of her videos, she said, oh, she cannot get surgery because she read that every 5 to 10 years you would have to change the implant, but she still did it anyway. So
now I'm 20, and I still remember just last year when I was 19, I seriously contemplated having breast augmentation. I only gave up the idea when I found out that if you have a boob job, you're likely to have to get it redone every 5 or 10 years, and I don't want to go through that. So I made a commitment to myself that from this day, I'm gonna learn to love my flat chest for what it is. I just want you to know that, girl, you're not alone. I feel it. I know how it feels. I know that having a flat chest or having really small boobs can make you feel like the odd one out, because all the girls around you seem to have some boobs and you look down at yours and they're just some cherries looking back at you. I get it. But know that these itty bitties are precious. They're yours and they're perfect. Learning to love yourself takes time, it will take patience, and it will take a lot of effort. And I know that listing all the benefits of having small breasts, like no need to wear a bra, easier to exercise or sleep on your stomach, or not getting unwanted attention from creepy guys, will not magically make all your insecurities go away. Neither will me telling you that you're beautiful just the way you are will suddenly make you love yourself and your small boobs. Because
honestly, I'm on the fence with this one, because I understand that people do change, but at the same time, this is what she had built her brand on. Researching about Clara Dao and going through her old videos, I was tired with the amount of time she referenced her flat chest. It was very, very repetitive. So she made this her entire personality and just changed. Honestly, that was crazy. But guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much. If you reached the end, kindly like, share, subscribe if you do care, and I hope you do care. Please share these videos with your friends and your family. Thank you so much for, you know, staying by me and watching to the end. Leave a brown emoji, y'all. Thank you guys so much. I really do love and appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, bye. She's still posting, she's still telling the people to stock, she's still telling people to get she's still.
Now I'm totally comfortable and confident with how I look. I love wearing tops like this, or bralettes, tank top, v-neck shirt, you name it. It's interesting that once you learn to love something that you used to feel so insecure about, you just want to show it off more and more. I love my breasts, I love my boobs, I love my chest so much, and I would never trade them for anything, or I would never go under the knife to make them look bigger or better, because I'm happy with what I have. My boobs are mine, they belong to me, and God created me with this body that's uniquely mine and perfect for me. And my job is to just love my body as much as possible, all parts of it, breasts included. I honor my body and I love it unconditionally, and I know that one day you're gonna be like me too, loving your small breasts, celebrating them, and proudly showing them to the world. With regards to guys' opinions, I want to assure you that there are a lot of guys who love small boobs or flat chest. In fact, if you're a guy who's watching